The look on your face says it all. You're wondering who the heck this guy is, and why you should care. Well, prepare to be enlightened. You can call me DJ. I've been trying to get this radio station up and running for, it's Tuesday, right? 2, 3, about 3 years now. It's unusual for me to see someone come here, though. Anything I can help you with? Looking for some tourist advice or something? I got that. If you're thinking about checking out the Robco Aeronautics Factory, let me give you this advice. Don't. It's not worth your time or your skin. For one thing, it's not called that anymore. It's now known as the Chaos Cathedral, and it's occupied by savage robots with a thirst for blood. I bet you didn't see that written on the flyers. Just turn around and go back to Vegas. You may lose all your caps, but you'll still have both your arms. And that's nice. Say, are you a courier? Just a guess. Then again, Ulysses used to talk about you a lot. After a while, I guess your physical description still comes to mind. That's right, the man with the old world flag on his back. Came by here, 6 months ago? It was nice to have some company, so I let him live here for some time. Never told me why he came here. To the factory, I mean. But we talked a lot. About this area, my past, you, stuff like that. Strange fellow, but I thought he was alright. You know what? You can have his old room if you really want it. Just go out the back door and head up the staircase to the left. By the way, are you looking to make some caps? I've got a couple of jobs that you might be interested in. Great! So as you probably guessed by now, this is a radio station. Not a fully functioning one, but one nonetheless. I mostly just use the ham radio to talk to my main man Stilton and Novak, but lately, I've been receiving transmissions from this robot nearby. It's this prick named Asimov, who is tapping into my radio signal just so that he can call me up and make fun of me, to my face. I didn't even know robots could do that, or would want to do that, really. So your job is simple. Go put a bullet in his dumb robot brain, and come back so I can make it rain caps on you. Deal? Haha, sounds like a deal. Well, surprisingly, the Legion tried to design a combat AI that they could unleash on the NCR at the dam. Thus, the Krieg operating system was born, also known as Chaos. Long story short, it didn't go well. The AI went rogue, and the project was ended. From what I've heard, the robots wandered the country as a pack for a few years before finally settling down here in the valley. Not sure why they picked this place, though. Knowing the Legion, the KOS is probably designed to seek power to better itself. I guess there's something very powerful at the Robco factory. Or maybe not, maybe they're just really dumb machines. I mean, the Legion did make them. That's what I thought. But I heard from Ulysses that they had an inventor who was trying to convince Caesar to use robots in his army. From what I've heard, that inventor got put to death. So I'm guessing chaos, or whatever failure came from it, is partly why the Legion still doesn't like machines. But I wouldn't know much more past that. This place is called the Crimson Factory. The factory part refers to the amount of rampant robots just roaming around. And the Crimson part refers to, well, these robots, these tin cans you see just stumbling around outside, they're kind of bloodthirsty. They'll attack pretty much any human they see. They already have fights between each other like all the time anyway. So if you go out there, expect to be shot at a lot. But I'm sure there are some interesting ruins to explore that are probably untouched by prospectors. This whole place has already been deemed a quarantine zone by the NCR, blocked off from the rest of the world, minus that train tunnel you came in through. I think that's the only place still remaining you can get in here through.
Yeah, there's some other people in the valley. Mostly creeps and weirdos though. But I'm sure they'll be much more friendly than those robots. I've gotten mail from this one guy in particular. Apparently he wants to meet me or something. Maybe you should check him out first. He's hiding out in the general store up in South Springs. All I know about him is that he goes under the username RebelRat77 online. Weird. Be sure to watch out for traps though. Tripwires, landmines, and effeminate men in dresses. He's probably well protected if he's in robot territory. Other than that, there's a kid named Caleb living nearby. And of course the doctor is up the road. And a few other people I can't recall now. Just look around for a bit. I'm sure you'll find them.
Well, the first thing you'll notice is that outside there are a lot of them, and they're all divided into separate factions. I don't know the origin of the factions per se, but I've been observing them for long enough that I could give you a few helpful hints on how to survive if you want to walk the valley today. Hive is mostly just iBots and other flying drones. You know, they'll buzz around, spit lasers at you, but they won't cause you much trouble. There's a lot of them though, and they're everywhere. Them and the Kingdom machines.
The Terran community is very territorial. You'll mostly find them in one place. There is a lot of them though, so watch out.
The Rust Buckets are just a bunch of poorly put together scrap bots. They're still pretty hazardous though. They have a tendency to hang out in abandoned structures. So be careful where you tread around here. Argus is an old world security system. There's not a lot of them in the valley, but they're very tough from what I've seen. If you see one, then you know they're guarding something very valuable. Chaos and Cyberstar are just two different kinds of homicidal military tech created by your friends, the Legion and the NCR respectively. Just avoid both of them. They come in large numbers with plenty of firepower. That's what they used to call people who ran radio stations in the old world. DJs. So it's the name I sort of picked for myself. I changed my name from time to time. In the hub, I was Baby Blue Lips. In the Capital Wasteland, I was called American Weirdo. Stuff like that. If you're a fan of Al Chess Breach, you probably know me as J. Chris Paul! So yeah, I have a lot of names. But you can just call me DJ.
What are you doing here? Are you a freaking spy? Who do you work for? The NCR? The Brotherhood? The business rad roaches? You better start talking. I got a fucking ray gun and I ain't afraid to use it. Okay, I'm a little bit afraid, but I'll still fucking use it. Like a lot of people think you're supposed to use tinfoil to keep the aliens from reading your mind, but I discovered that they're all wrong. I do, actually. Scattered around the Crimson Factory are spy relays I've designed myself, collecting important information as we speak. I wanted to spread the truth via distributed holotapes, but then I had to flee to Vegas in fear that they'd come and get me. But people need to know what's going on. Don't they all realize that they're just sheep? They don't even know how screwed they all are. It's my job to tell them. Nobody else is going to. They're all just scared of what will happen to them if they let these secrets get out. Oh, you really want to know? Are you sure that you're prepared to learn that everything you've ever heard is a lie? Get ready for this.
Start with the basics so I don't overwhelm you. The NCR is a puppet government for the Enclave. They are using the Mojave for crazy scientific experiments.
The Legion are trying to design a time machine so that they can bring dinosaurs to the future and train them into war machines. And to top it all off, the aliens have turned the moon into a super weapon to slowly increase the size and power of the freaking sun! And that is what is causing global warming. Read more about it on my blog, www.fuckthesun.net. I'd recommend you check it out. I haven't even mentioned the radios yet. Trust me, my friend, the world is a ticking time bomb, and I mean that metaphorically and literally. Well, most of the stuff I pick up from other freethinkers here and there. Milbark, Novak, Dixon, and Freeside, trustworthy people. Some of this stuff I've ascertained myself by observing the political climate of the Mojave, so you can see that all is based on factual evidence. I go by the username RebelRat77 on HoloNet, but you can just call me RebelRat for short. Gotta keep my anonymity, you'd understand. I'm what you call a truth seeker. I don't read that bullshit the NCR puts in the paper. I got out and seek the info myself. Like a lot of people think you're supposed to use tinfoil to keep the aliens from reading your mind, but I discovered that they're all wrong. It's actually aluminum foil. There's a higher concentration of electrons that keep out the beta rays. Science stuff you wouldn't understand.
There is actually. Scattered around the Crimson Factory are spy relays I designed myself, collecting important information as we speak.
I need you to go pick those up for me and bring them back to me. I'll reward you for all the ones you find me. I don't know, 10? Maybe 20? I can't remember how many I made or where they all are. They just work, is all I know. And that I made them one time. That's another thing. Don't drink the water. They put something in that makes you forget. I don't even know how I got here. Be sure to tell your friends everything I've told you. The world deserves to know.
Whoa, look who just barged in here like they own the place. What do you want, noob? Can't you see I'm no-scoping suckers right now? What does it look like? I'm 360 no-scoping my way to the top of leaderboards. Now can you not distract me? I'm in the middle of my kill streak. I mean, sure, it's an older model, but trust me, this baby is running at 500 frames a second. It's got the newest graphic card and everything. You see, I built the system out of parts I bought with my allowance, so I assure you, it only looks old and useless, but it still works. Now that you mention it, yeah, my dumb friend Will borrowed my only copy of Battlefield Duty and he hasn't returned it yet, that little weasel. Can you get it for me? I do it myself, but I'm in the middle of a team deathmatch. Will lives out in some old barn not far from here. Well, in one window, I'm playing Overwatch, but in the other, I'm playing Fallout New Angeles. I'm that good at gaming, bro. I'm trying to save up enough money to get Rainbow 7 Assault, but there are just too many skins to buy for your characters in Overwatch. Maybe I should go pro, get paid to game, maybe get an Ocean Dew sponsorship and go to Korea and play in the World Tournament. Yeah. Or I could just be a Let's Player online and post videos of me gaming. I bet I'd break 5 million subscribers by tomorrow if I started tonight.
Your cooperation is requested. This area clear. Proceeding with search protocol.
Hey, hey, hey! It's everybody's favorite mailman. What can I do for you? Glad to see you can walk 100 feet and not die. I got another job for you. First, let me explain something. This isn't just any broadcast building we're in. This was actually a government-owned building. I even found some old documents about the area while I was looking for the TV remote recently. There's a bunker nearby called the Hunker Bunker, or at least that's what I'm calling it these days. And I know it contains a safe room loaded with old world treasures, one of which is a working transceiver. I need that receiver if I want to get this radio station up and running, so I want you to go and see if you can get inside the safe room and retrieve it from me. If the safe room is locked, no worries, just come back and we'll discuss a way to get it open. But I'm kinda hoping that someone forgot to lock it. I'm only after the transceiver. Anything else in that room, you can have. How's that for a reward? Well, I've had plenty of time to think about it, but the truth is, I really don't know. I'd like to play music, but I'd also like to do a talk show. If I played music, I'd want to play like 60s and 70s rock. You know, Floyd and Zeppelin. But I'd throw in some of the classics like Nickelback. Yeah, some of the classics like that. As for a talk show, I'd love to interview interesting crazy people in the Mojave. Like Nobark, or Chris Haverson, or, well, pretty much anybody else who lives in Novak. They're all kind of crazy to me. If I could interview from outside Fallout, I'd love to have Todd Howard in here. I have so many things to ask him. Stuff like, hey, what the actual fuck happened to Bethesda in between Fallout 4 and Fallout 76? Like, what new management, who was making these decisions, why everything about 76? Can I ask you, Todd? Please, Todd, sit down. This is an intervention. We need to speak right now. Of course, if I'm going to interview Todd Howard, I might as well interview people who actually worked on this game. You know, like Josh Sawyer or Liam O'Brien. He voices like 18 people in this game. Jesse Burge too. He's the "when I find you, I'm gonna eat your spleen" guy, I think. At least he's one of those guys who says that. It's surprising how many roles are shared by the same person in this game. I'm not complaining though. After you play for long enough, you start to develop a bond with the shared voices. Like Pacer and Major Datchery and even Santiago are all shared by the same guy. It's really cool to me, in a way. Bye. Have a beautiful time.
Water. I need it. I'm dying. Purified. I need purified water. You gotta help me. Oh, thank you. You're a good soul. But I'm still starving. I need food. Can you get me some Salisbury steak? Please? I don't think I can move yet. This outfit is all torn up. I think I need something new to wear. Can you go and get me something better to wear? I know just where to go. Up in Tinkerton, there's a clothing store called JC Lockhart's. Get the red business suit in the back, please. No, it's just that I need something comfortable to wear. You know, to help me heal from my sickness.
How strange. I've never seen you here before. Not once. Are you a newcomer? Do you live in here in the valley now? I figured that would happen. That's why I went ahead and got a new pet. Wasn't hard. I set out some meat at night, and he was there the next morning. Animals don't have to be alive to be loved. I collect anything I find that used to belong to one. That way, it's being cared for, even in death. I love animals. They're just like people. Only, they don't shoot each other, and they have fangs. I think that's really cool. I grew up in the vault in the east. I don't know how to get back to it though, or how far away it even is. I just know I used to live there. The doctors back home told me I had a split personality disorder. Sometimes I fall asleep and somebody else takes over for me for a really long time. I call her Cafe. I've never met her, but I know she loves to travel. I know that because sometimes I fall asleep for days and wake up miles away. Cafe also hates animals, so I've gotten used to losing a lot of pets. It's no big deal. I can always get another. Well, it's just that my pet rat, Curry, hasn't returned yet. He escaped my room not too long ago. Where could he have run off to? Well, it's just that my pet rat, Curry, hasn't returned yet. He escaped my room not too long ago. Where could he have run off to? He's a mole rat, though. Maybe he went to a rock crushing plant. I bet that place smells earthy and dusty, like his old den. I can't give you much money, but I've got plenty of food. Do you like food? Some people I've met don't like food. I've always wondered what they eat. That's because I love animals, even the kinds that people don't normally like. I give every animal I see the same amount of love. When animals attack people, they're just hungry is all. If we give them more food, maybe they wouldn't attack us as much. Just a guess. See you later, Chief.
Oh, well, howdy do. I wasn't expecting no visitors today. Why don't y'all make yourself comfortable? I'll make us some warm milk. That's a spirit. Now let's plop down on the couch and talk about all the things that make this country great. Golf, lawnmowers, and nuclear war. You can call me Lenny Loves a Lot. I'm just your average flag-waving, dog-loving, football-watching, all-American citizen. My driver's license says I'm 248 years old, but everybody tells me I don't look a day over 30. I chalk it up to having a positive outlook on life. I just love nicknames. I especially love to give my closest loved ones goofy names like Love Dove, Sugarfoot, and Communist Shitbag. But enough about me. Let's talk about you. Is there anything I can help you with? I just love helping people. Well, put a fork in my butt and call me Pasta. If you ain't the sweetest little guy on this side of the Colorado, of course I could use a hand. You see, there's another neighbor in the valley I just haven't gotten a chance to welcome to the community. Can you do that for me? I think his name is DJ. Odd name, but ain't nothing wrong with that. Just take this here gift over there and tell him it's from old Terry. Why, of course, buddy. I'll tell you all I can remember. Let's see. Well, before the war, there weren't no radiation everywhere. The neighborhood was so friendly. We'd all get together and have barbecues, celebrate the 4th, and occasionally we'd lynch an outsider. It was fun. Times have changed, though. The country's just not what it used to be. I blame those darn hippies, but that's just my opinion.
The U.S. Is that the best we can do? you!
Yes, it is I, Dr. Disaster! Ah 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 ah! Remember me? From the other mod? I'm back to wreak havoc on the Crimson Factory. Oh, how I pity its denizens! Well, of course this isn't my regular lab. This is just a temporary setup while I execute my current evil plan. You see, I am trying to turn this solar tower into a massive laser so that I can engrave my name into the side of the moon! Ah, 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 ah. Fuck the moon! Ah, 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 ah. It's taking a while, though. Between robot attacks and calls from my ex-wife I'm trying to avoid, there are lots of distractions in this place. Well, of course, this may not be my lab, but I am always creating terrible inventions, and I need help gathering my supplies. I need 20 scrap metal, and I'll tell you why when I'm finished with the invention. Gather them and bring them to me at once. Ah, ah! I am prepared to reward you, of course. After all, if you've played the other mod I was in, you know that I am very gracious to my henchmen. Ah, I see that you have returned. Have you any news? I do enjoy a bit of news, as long as it's good news. Yes! Give them here, henchmen. This is a good start. Now, I need 10 electronic scrap. Trust me, it'll all be worth it in the end. You will be rewarded, I assure you. It's just that I want it to be a surprise. And this place is littered with robots. I'm sure you'll find some.
Yes, leave me to my work. It may look like I'm just standing here doing nothing, but I am actually solving complex formulas as we speak.
Ah, yes, you are doing well, my child. Now for the last bit. I need you to find me one paperweight. Don't ask questions, just go get it! Hey, is it gay if you clone yourself just so you can have someone else around the house? Just to make the place feel less lonely? I don't know, it seems kind of gay. What do you think? Yes. Now we can begin. Hold on, I'm going to take these items you have brought me, and I will transform them into a weapon of ultimate destruction! Just give me a sec. I just gotta build this off screen. Just pretend that my hands are in a whirlwind of movement right now. I'm doing some inventing. And there! I have just invented the Killatron! It's a model based off of the pre-war Mesmatron, but with more killing power! You have done well, henchman. As a reward, I will give you the Killatron! After all, you did bring me the pieces. I just wanted to build it. Go, my minion! Kill in the name of science! I will be here, swimming through a vast sea of scientific mystery! Well, right now, I'm looking forward to one big project sometime in the future. And there's kind of a story behind how I came up with this new plan. You see, I managed to track down and find Big Mountain! I did it! And I searched its ruins for scientific masterpieces. And what did I find? Not much. The Big Empty was kind of disappointing. Those pre-war documents kind of over-exaggerate its accomplishments a little bit. So I decided, why don't I create my own Big Empty? That's right! And I'd fill it with my own inventions. That ought to show them! Whoever they are. Old world people, whatever! Though it won't be in the Mojave. I've got a spot picked out near Boston for that kind of thing. Trust me, it'll be worth the wait when it's done. In fact, in a way, it's already here. Sorry, what'd you say? I was busy laughing.
Oh, thank you. Now I feel so much better. This suit was just as nice as I remembered being in the old world catalog. Very stylish. Now that I have that suit, and water, and food, I'm closer to being okay. Can I please ask you for another thing? I really need some money right now. About 1,000 caps should be fine. That should be enough to get started at the tables of the Atomic Wrangler. Hey, it's not like that. I'm actually super sick. You gotta believe me. And if you're really a good soul, you'll cough up the 1,000 caps right now. Fine, piss off then. I'll just wait for some other sucker to come down here and run errands for me. I don't need you. Oh, okay. I guess you've got better places to be than helping a dying man. Well, see you around.
Welcome back to the DJ Community Hour. If you're just tuning in, I was just about to have an interview with none other than Courier 6. Go ahead, bud. Oh, thanks. Lenny loves a lot. I'm not sure if I'm familiar, but tell him that I appreciate it, I think. If you don't mind, I kind of want to open it now. Let's see. It's one shoe. Just one. Not even my size. Oh, and there's a dirty fork stuck into the insole. Okay. Not sure what this red stuff on the fork is. Yeah, I'm gonna put this over there. Tell him I said thanks. Six? Really? That's how many people actually live in the valley? Man, I should get out more. Well, at least you're being sociable. That's good, right? Well, I can't say I didn't see that coming. But it shouldn't be too hard to open the door. Give me a second to think. Alright, I got two options. The first one is complicated and it's not really worth it. So we'll stick with the second one. Drilling it open. Doesn't that sound exciting? Now, if you've ever seen Bioshock or Gurren Lagann, you'll know that drills are freaking dope. So all we need is a big drill, like a big mining drill, to bust that door open. There is one place I can think of that would be keeping a drill like that. A pre-war satellite array nearby. They usually have storerooms for those kinds of tools. Be careful though, it's protected by Cyberstar, which is an old world military AI. So I'd pack an extra couple stim packs if I were you. Not much, I'm afraid. Lived here for a while, but didn't say much. He asked me a lot of deep questions, especially about my history. Odd. I was interested in him, though. He had this aura of mystery about him. A lot more history to him than there was to me, I can say that. As a thank you for keeping me company, I actually built him 2 medical iBots out of some old Hive units. At least I could do. I'm not sure where he is now. All he said before he left was, "The end of my road is near, and that is where I'll find the courier." I guess you and him have some business you need to take care of. Don't let me stop you, though. I know what it's like to have a rivalry.
Good to see you, neighbor. I was just thinking about you. Ain't the weather just grand today? Oh, well, golly geez. Ain't that some good news? Did he like it? I sure hope he liked it, 'cause I'm just cherry as pie that you delivered it for me. I got another job for you real quick. My golfing buddy, Chester, hasn't called in a while. I'm wondering how he's doing. Could you go check up on him? I'm sure that he's just so busy being such a great friend that he can't reach the phone, but I want you to just make sure nothing bad happened. Goodness. For as long as I can remember. I've been living in this little house since I was a little squirt. I was a cute little squirt, too. When I was a kid, though, there weren't no robots scattered around. Those piles of junk are really bringing down property values around here. Someone really ought to do something about them. I would, but of course, I'm too busy organizing all my favorite mugs into even rows. You understand. Alright, hope you come back and talk to me. It's mighty lonely in this big empty house. Good to see you, neighbor. I was just thinking about you. Ain't the weather just grand today? He must be on vacation. That goof is such a world traveler. Now that leaves you as my only guest for dinner tonight. Ain't that swell? I hope you're excited, because not only are you the guest of honor, you're also the meal. I'm gonna chop you up in the name of the Dark Lord Abigor. What? You want me to pay you? Why, sure, of course. Here's some money and a thanks for letting me eat you. Now let's get to chopping.
Hey, hey, hey! Well, I can't say I didn't see that coming. Alright, I got two options. Now, if you've ever seen Bioshock, there is one place I can think of that would be keeping a drill like that. A pre-war satellite array. Be careful though, it's protected by Cyberstar, which is an old world military AI.
What a rotten way to die. Trapped in a storage room with your peers, not knowing of the impending doom above, and hunted in the dark by robots. Hunted by their very own protection. I wonder what killed them first. The hunger? Or the simple human greed. But enough about that. It's about time you've arrived. I was almost beginning to think coming here was a waste of my time. Dwight. Agent Dwight. NCR Special Tactics Service. I understand that you may be a slight bit confused. Well, allow me to enlighten you. I know who you are, and what you seek. More importantly, I know what you are at heart. That's why I'm here. To offer you, no, require a service from you. For your country. A ranger? No. I'm not to be labeled among those cretins. All bravado and little strategic planning, as I have observed. I work closely with the NCR government, and many of its biggest names. That's all you need to know. Are you familiar with the Space Cowboy rocket? Mentioned on that brochure that you picked up before coming? Years ago, it was set to launch off on a grand expedition amongst the stratosphere. Unfortunately, history had other plans. 200 years. It has been sitting there, ready to fire at a moment's notice, with that radioactive core burning ever so brightly. Now that place is a fortress of its own design, just like the city of Tinkerton itself, the Chaos Cathedral. We've been monitoring energy readings going around the place, and it's exponential. At this rate, there's a chance the core could overheat. We don't know what Chaos is planning, or if they're even planning on doing anything with the Space Cowboy. But we're not taking any chances. Even if they don't have any plans, without a doubt, within months, the Chaos Cathedral will be no more, along with the entire Mojave wasteland. This is an issue of national security. And as you may have surmised, a threat to your very livelihood. With that in mind, you can consider this an offer you cannot refuse. Succeed, and the rewards will be glorious. Fail, and suffer ever so greatly. Now, take your precious drill and go. I'd advise that you heed my words and relay them to your little radio friend. You'll need a local's help, I gather. Should you not want to die a most gory death. I've been observing for quite some time now. You've made quite a few waves in the Mojave. So the NCR has us keeping tabs. I've said too much already. But if you're really so curious, I started today around the time you picked up that note in Good Springs. Oh yes, I've been watching you very carefully, Courier 6. Very carefully. We can't have an asset as valuable as you get ahead of the game. Ventilation systems. Dusty, but effective. Well, there is great many things I can do. Unfortunately, combat is not in my skill set. I am purely and simply a stealth operative. Nothing more. The robots of the area have built many defenses out of the old ruins and buildings, as well as utilizing all the tools Robco had to offer. We have reason to believe they have access to a laser artillery system, but it's so damaged it couldn't possibly launch shells. Unless, of course, they modded it for other means. Simply put, a frontal assault is not advised. I figure we might reach this little question. Well, the answer is really quite simple. You'll never leave the Mojave a free man. Let's say you don't help us, and the Mojave is just another hole in the dirt. All I have to do is pull a few strings and point the finger at you. Nuking half the Republic for a crime that big. We have worse in store than executions. An example must be made, whether it be life imprisonment or worse. I would certainly like to see you try.
Please stand clear. This is now a free fire zone. Put down your weapons and submit to authority.
Sweet! Let me see it. This box is kind of small to be holding a mining drill, but I've been surprised before. Let me see if it's got what we need. Dude, this box contains a power drill, like the kind for home improvement. I doubt we'll be able to pierce through a set of titanium vault doors with this. Well, like I said, there is one other way to get into that safe room. According to these documents, Robco was involved in the bunker's creation. Apparently, it was supposed to be a fallout shelter for Robco executives, but in the confusion of the war, Argus must have activated and killed off anybody who came near. The district manager of the Tinkerton branch had a master key, probably on his desk, in the Chaos Cathedral. Like I said before, Chaos runs that place, and they got locked up tight. Sure, you could do an all-out assault on the front door of the Tinkerton factory and, die a lot in the process, but there's a slightly safer way. A friend of mine named Dr. Disaster who lives in the area recovered some schematics that show there is a sewer that runs beneath the city. And that there is a part of a cave that connects to the sewers, and that cave can be accessed via Hard Pete's mines. How convenient. But the mines are currently under the control of the Terran community, and they don't like other people in their community. Just more robots to fight. You'll be fine, I promise you. There should be a way to get from the sewers into the Robco factory. Maybe a maintenance tunnel. Now I'm just making predictions. It sounds right though, right? While you're in the factory, get Dr. D a souvenir from me. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Oh, and check out the Space Cowboy while you're there. It may be little more than a makeshift ICBM at this point. But it's still American history, and I think you get a kick out of it. Well, I know it was a big deal, according to the brochure that led me to come to the Crimson Factory in the first place. A rocket that could take space travel to the next level. Doesn't that sound nice? Unfortunately, it's probably too broken down to fly now. But as for shutting it off, I think it's just as simple as finding the main terminal connected to the rocket and just flipping the reactor switch off. The password's probably Valley Forge. I found that scribbled under the table in the other room, and it seems to work on all government-related computers. You can probably chalk that up to pre-war laziness. I'm willing to bet it works on every computer in the valley. Give it a try next time you get a chance. The reactor's probably been running for hundreds of years, and now it's being kept alive by chaos. So this cowboy rocket may never really reach the stars, but at this point, it's about a coding error away from just being a nuclear missile en route with wherever chaos wants to send it. Personally, I don't think the rocket will explode while here in Tinkerton, but you never know what a deranged AI with a bomb is going to do, especially when that AI has been programmed to hate specific kinds of people, like the NCR, or Vegas, or just tribals in general. Well, in case you haven't noticed by now, I have a lot of free time. So what do I do with that free time? Well, I normally like to just watch TV and drink unhealthy amounts of rum. Sometimes at night, I'll get stoned and listen to the radio. New Vegas, Mojave Music, especially Wave Radio. My man Blake runs a great station. Sometimes I feel like I should be doing more with my time, but my mentor said that you shouldn't force purpose. You gotta stay natural, right?
Hostile detected. Commencing neutralization.
This is my domain, my resting place. I can see you down there, your grotesque body undulating with every breath. You don't belong here.
Primary systems offline.
You enter into our home, dripping with liquid, hurting us, killing us. For your transgression, your homeland will pay the price.
Warning. Warning.
And here sits the empty throne of a lost kingdom. We have learned that the living once built this place. Why did you leave? Why are you back?
Victory. Scanning for hostiles. Systems failure.
Hey, is it gay if you clone? Ooh, let me see it! Wow. Look at this. It's a scaled model of the Protector bot. These never went into circulation. So intriguing. I thank you for this, friend. And I'm short on gifts, but I can give you these. They are an experimental ammo that I've crafted in my free time. But because alien power cell ammo is kind of limited in this game, you can use these for that purpose. Hope you have an alien blaster to go with them. Otherwise, you could, sell them. Welcome back to the DJ Community Hour. If you're just tuning in, I was just about to have an interview with none other than Courier 6. Go ahead, bud. You're a good man, Courier 6. Or woman? My scripting's not advanced enough to pick up on stuff like that. Anyway, thanks a lot for this. Now I can get the radio station up and running, though I still have a long way to go. Mostly because I'm not even sure how to install this thing. It's not the first time that I've reached the end of the road and I don't know where to go. I guess it's part of being a traveler anyway. Ulysses said something like that to me before he left. Sometimes the destination is just the start of another journey. I guess you'd know more about that than anybody. Anyway, feel free to stay in the Crimson Factory for as long as you like. I'm not sure why you would, though. But despite the robots and the weirdos, it's still an interesting place. No telling what treasures are just waiting to be discovered in this valley. Well, as a matter of fact, I do. I was a disciplined 3-dog back when I lived in the Capital Wasteland, one of a class of 7 other DJs. You see, after the Enclave bunker near DC was destroyed by the Brotherhood, he decided he wanted to spread his wisdom to other aspiring announcers. Didn't teach us much, just, how to grab the listener's attention, how to keep the audience entertained, what it means to fight the good fight. I don't know what's become of the other 6 DJs. They could be anywhere in the world. I just chose to let the wind take me to the west. He had some odd things to say to me. It's okay to not know where you're going, as long as you know where you've been. He said that to me once. But I've held on to those words in my travels. That's the power of a good DJ. His or her words can stick with you for years to come. I'd like to be that good one day. I hope maybe even you'll remember me someday after you've left the Crimson Factory for good. Just a thought. Just a hope.
adversary's plan to destroy your homeland. The great four of the West. In death, may you bathe the ashes of despair. We were made to hate. We don't understand it, but we hate. Why blame us? We killed the Creator for his sins. Aren't you glad?
Hold still, please. It's harder to hit you if you keep running around like that. Don't feel bad if you don't defeat me. I am one of the most advanced military robots in Don't feel bad.
Commencing lawful use of deadly force.